My apologies for being very, very late here with this Friday video report, but I figure at this point it's better late than never because I've got a wealth of information to pass on to you in terms of tonight's preseason action and a number of complimentary plays as well. Listen, in terms of preseason play, I said it on Monday, I'm going to say it again today. I just have no interest in betting the preseason. I've had one preseason wager. It was a small 5-dime play on Green Bay over Pittsburgh last Thursday, and I walked away with an easy double-digit win and cover. And that's it. And why should I waste my time anyway? Yeah, I'm handicapping all the games. I'm going to give you all the information I found on those games because information is power when it comes to gambling. But look at the run that I've been on in baseball over the past 8+ weeks. And even though, again, every bet is a 50-50 proposition, when it comes to information, I can gather so much more that allows me to make an informed decision when it comes to winning and betting on baseball. Why do I want to bother in football where I don't know what a coach's intent is? I don't know the status for absolute certainty of who's going to play and for how long. It's a crapshoot when it comes to football. Listen, there's a couple of guys that have big plays in football tonight, and they've got every bit as good a chance to win as I do in baseball, and God bless them. But I'm still going to keep betting in baseball. I told you 2-3 months ago that in baseball season, I just win money all the time in baseball. Year after year practically. And it's a great time to win money because then suddenly when the football season kicks off, the real football season a week and a half from now, you suddenly build a bankroll and you're playing with somebody else's money. I've kept my end of the bargain. If you haven't made money, shame on you. So the hottest handicapper here at the site, yeah, it remains me. And today, as I go for winning day number 38 out of 56, I have another raise the bar 20-dime lock. My road rocker lock as I go for raise the bar 20-dime winner number 19 out of 27 since 5 Fridays ago. Just as strong as yesterday's winner on the Red Sox on the run line, 7-0 over Cleveland. Wednesday's winner on the Rockies on the run line, 6-2 over San Diego, was Tuesday's 20-dime run line winner on the A's, 6-0 over Texas. And just like all the previous 20-dime winners over the past 5 weeks, you get it for half price off using coupon code RAISE. Now, in football tonight, I will tell you that Jack Brayman has top-rated 100-dime winner number 43 out of 68 on the Giants and the Jets. He's made $10 bettors a little over 21 grand over the past 162 days. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code JACK, his first name, and Steve Buden's Philadelphia Crew. Their one and only preseason play. This is it. I've had no others. It goes tonight. Philadelphia Crew, 100-dime max wager release, Seahawks and Vikings. You get it for over $65 off the regular price by using coupon code Philly100, PHILLY 100. All the other discounts and coupon codes are over on the homepage. Let's talk about the baseball complimentary plays first. First one for you. I'm going to take a shot with the LA Angels plus $1.35 at home tonight. Excuse me, as the home dog against the Houston Astros with Andrew Heaney against Dallas Keuchel. Listen, I know Dallas Keuchel is 11-2 lifetime with a 3.41 earned run average against the LA Angels. But he's coming off his worst start in nearly a 2-month period as he got shellacked last Saturday against the Oakland A's in the game the Astros really needed to win, but he came up short, 5 2/3 innings, giving up 9 hits and 5 runs. And the fact is, Andrew Heaney is one of those guys that I like to ride at home, and I go against him on the road. And the numbers bear me out because he is 7-2 with a 2.90 earned run average and 11 home starts. On the road outside of Anaheim, 0-5 with a 5.37 ERA and 12 road starts. But 2 other factors to consider. Not only is pitched well in the Big A, but the Angels are 7-1 in his last 8 starts, and he's 2-0 against the Astros this season with a 1.29 earned run average. So I will take the Angels as the big road home dog tonight against the Astros in this particular spot. The other play I like tonight, I'm going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks plus $1.20 on the run line as a home dog, laying the 1.5 runs against Seattle. Arizona's on a 6-1 roll, and I like backing the Diamondbacks when their offense is hitting on all cylinders, no pun intended. And they've got two guys in the middle of that lineup right now that are powering the D-backs offense. You got Paul Goldschmidt, who has a 14-game hitting streak, and in that stretch he's batting .448 with 5 homers and 13 ribbies. You got David Peralta, who's homered in 3 straight games, and in the month of August he's hitting .426 with 17 ribbies. You've got Zach Godley, who's true, coming off a rough start at San Diego, but he's another guy. You look at his home road splits. On the road, ERA of 5.45, but pitching at Chase Field this season, a much more respectable 3.33. The Diamondbacks average 4.8 runs in his starts this season. Opponents are only hitting .245 with runners in scoring position against Godley. And Arizona, again, has won 6 out of 7 games. I like Arizona on the run line in that one. So your two complimentary plays in baseball, again, the Angels as a home dog, Arizona as a home dog on the run line. In that one, laying the 1.5 runs against Seattle. Let me pass on some football notes here for you tonight. And also maybe pass on a couple complimentary plays your way as well. Washington is down to a 1.5-point favorite tonight against the, let me just double check. Yes, Washington is a 1.5-point favorite. They were a 3-point favorite earlier today against the Denver Broncos. Alex Smith has only thrown 6 passes so far in this preseason. Jay Gruden has been a pretty damn good preseason bet the past 3 years. In week number 3, the official dress rehearsal game, he's won and covered the last 3 years, and the offense has delivered an average of 25 points in that stretch. Now, Denver's 0-2 straight up and against the spread so far in the preseason, as their offense has really struggled, to say the least. Case Keenum has not looked good. Chad Kelly has been the only quarterback who has really looked good. Started as the number 3 guy, moved up to the number 2 spot. The Broncos defense has allowed Minnesota and Chicago to score a combined 51 points in their first 2 preseason games and gain a total of 734 yards. With this line coming down, I like Washington minus the 1.5 points in this particular spot. Another game that I handicap, you see Detroit is now Detroit's really a 0.5-point underdog at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was originally a 3-point favorite in this game earlier this morning. Well, Jameis Winston, is not playing. And the reason Tampa Bay has looked very good, really, in road wins against Miami and Tennessee is because Jameis Winston, coming off the bench, has been spectacular. But Winston isn't playing tonight, and nor should he play tonight, because there is no upside for him to play, since he is not going to be playing the first 3 weeks of the regular season because he is suspended, because he's a knucklehead. Now, so the fact that the Bucs are 2-0 straight up and against the spread, it may be inconsequential. Now, what you have not seen so far is the Lions do anything offensively in the preseason. But then again, Matthew Stafford has only played 3 series, taken 13 snaps, and only thrown 5 passes. His number 1 receiver, Golden Tate, hasn't even done anything so far in the preseason. So I think it's very likely that you're going to see Matthew Stafford play the entire first half, and there is speculation that they might even play a series or so in the third quarter, because many coaches like to see their first-team offense go into that locker room, come out in the third quarter, experience that cool down, coming back in the third quarter, getting pumped up, and at least play a series or 2 in the third quarter. Matt Patricia, who was brought in, of course, the former Patriots defense coordinator, to take over the Lions this year, has seen his defense do absolutely nothing. Lions are the only team in preseason play so far that has failed to generate a sack. 0 sacks in 2 games. It's an interesting game, one that I'm not really interested in. I do think there is, however, some value if you're looking at this particular game to perhaps take a shot with the Lions in the first half of this game, where they're a virtual pick'em game. So that's perhaps a way to look in this particular contest, taking the Lions and pick'em. And let me just back up for a second. I have to correct myself. Washington is a 3-point favorite. 3-point favorite. Against Denver, and I still like Washington. I was giving you a halftime line, so my mistake. So Washington is 3-point favorite against Denver. I still like the Redskins, because even in the second half, once Alex Smith does, if he is anticipated to play the first half, I still like the backup quarterback situation for the Redskins. And in that particular case, I would take Washington at 3, buy down the 0.5 point as your free play against the Broncos. And again, Tampa Bay opened at 3, down to anywhere from 2 to 2.5, But if I was to play this game, I would take Detroit getting a half point in the first half, anticipating the lines with Stafford would outplay the Buccaneers in the first half of this particular game. The Minnesota-Seattle game. Minnesota is a 3.5-point favorite at home against Seattle. You know, Seattle has not looked good offensively, and Seattle has not looked good defensively so far in the preseason. Minnesota looked like great balls of fire in week number 1 at Denver. The offense was really grooving. In week number 2, Vikings couldn't get a damn thing done offensively. Kirk Cousins struggled, going 3 for 8 for 12 yards at home last week against Jacksonville. But tonight, you got to expect Cousins is going to put on a good show. Dalvin Cook, who, of course, was sidelined last year after going down early in the season with a knee injury, is expected to play at least a series or 2. They're also going to get their starting right guard, Mike Remmers, making his preseason debut. But remember, that offensive line still has some injury concerns. Their starting center is still out. They lost their starting left guard, Nick Easton, to a season-ending knee injury earlier. The Seattle offense, though, has been missing in action. Their number 1 running back, or anticipated number 1 running back, the rookie Rashard Penny's out with a broken finger. The Seattle run defense has allowed 126 yards on average the first 2 games. And the one thing Minnesota has done very well against the Broncos and the Jaguars the first 2 preseason games is run the ball, even without Cook. 147 yards in week number 1 at Denver, 126 yards last week against a good Jacksonville run defense. So in this game, I would lay the 3.5 points with Minnesota. I would buy down the half point with the Vikings with that line anywhere between 3 and 4.5 points. Here's an interesting situation. Green Bay is getting 5 to 5.5 points at Oakland. Now, this line earlier today was 6. Be aware that Mike McCarthy, the Packers coach, is leaning toward not playing any of his offensive starters in this game. Now, keep in mind also that the Packers still have nightmares from what happened in 2015 when in the 3rd week of the preseason they lost Jordy Nelson, their then starting wide receiver and number 1 target for Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the year, to a season-ending knee injury. And then the next week they had Randall Cobb go down with a shoulder injury, which bothered him all during the year. So Mike McCarthy pointed out that the 3rd preseason game is no longer such a big deal because the dress rehearsal isn't that important. His defensive starters may see substantial action here in the first half tonight. So how can you judge that game? Well, if the starters don't play, including Aaron Rodgers, this game is going to come down to a battle between who's going to earn the backup spot at quarterback, Brett Hundley or Deshaun Kaiser, the former Browns quarterback, both of whom who played very well in the preseason. I think the way to play this game is the over, which is currently sitting at 39.5 points, and that is dropped from 40.5 earlier today. So I like the over in that game. So your preseason picks, Green Bay and Minnesota to go over the total. I like Green Bay on Oakland to go over the total. I like Minnesota minus the points at home, and I like Washington as well. Of the preseason plays, my favorite actually would be the Minnesota Vikings minus the points. My second favorite would be the Oakland Green Bay game to go over. My third favorite would be the Redskins. And again, in baseball, I like the complimentary plays with Arizona on the run line and the Angels at home as the home dog. Those are your free plays for tonight. Wish you well, guys, and talk to you again tomorrow.